And good morning. Greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host, once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Lions Talk Live Monday, about a week and a half before the NFL draft. And you know what? I know everybody's out there shaking and baking, talking about the NFL draft. And, hey, it's the big topic. But I wanted to try to give us as a viewing audience or whatever, a do crew, a little bit of a break. Talk about some other stuff. Talk about some stuff that has impacted this franchise and taken us to the promised land, taking us to the place that we are now at. And who would have ever thought of it? The Detroit Lions are perhaps the greatest team in the NFL. And if they're not the number one team in the NFL, they're definitely in the conversation by, I guess you'd say, maybe the top 3 or 4. So I wanted to try to talk about moments in Detroit Lions history that I think was impacted us. I'm going to say that you probably all saw the thumbnail. You've seen where I was going with this. But in hindsight, can we now look at this and say, hey, where were you January 24th, 2021 at roughly 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time? Did anybody, if you went back to that moment in time, did any of us realize how impactful a moment this was for the franchise? And yes, I get there are other moments that have helped precipitate this, lead us to where the franchise now is. But could it be debated that this moment, January 24th, 2021, will forever remain one of the most debated and greatest days, moments, and times in Detroit Lions history? You look at where the franchise was prior. You look at to where they are now. That moment in time is going to stand out to a lot of us, and that's going to be the point or topic of today's show about it. I want to see what you guys have to say. I want to see what your guys' thoughts on it. And I just think the longer you analyze it, the longer this show for the Detroit Lions keeps going forward in a positive direction, we're going to probably all end up looking back on this and going, wow, oh, wow. I mean, think about before the couple seasons before that moment in time happens. And yes, if you're not aware, this is the moment the Detroit Lions decide to part ways from Matthew Stafford, sending him to the Los Angeles Rams, in return getting Jared Goff and a ton of draft capital. But before we get into today's show, let's talk about a couple things. I just got to get them out of the way. One, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about, 24 subs away from hitting 6,400. So if you could help us reach that goal, that would be great. The Do Crew will appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. Also, if you enjoy the video and the stuff we do here on the show, go ahead and take a moment of time, if you would be so kind, and hit the thumbs up button. Really trying to get this video to 200 thumbs up. If we can get to 300, that'd be great. As you guys probably know, it helps new people find the channel. So if you can help out, be gracious and just hit that thumbs up button. Last but never least, if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the state of Michigan, give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let me see if I can use roughly 30 years in the industry to your advantage, help you save some money on either the purchase or sale of property and make the experience a whole lot easier too. All right, welcome to Lions Talk Live. Now, before I get into the chat and get the Do Crew going, I do want to just talk about the Detroit Lions record real quick. As we all know, last year they were 12-5. The year before, 9-8. The first year of this regime taking over, the Lions were 3-13-1. And the number of years before that, you have a 5-11, 3-12, 6-10 campaign, and that's the Matt Patricia era. You know that him, Bob Quinn, they took something and turned it into nothing, I guess would be the polite way of putting it. They took the franchise in a direction that wasn't probably the best, and because of it, this regime had to come on in, make some hard choices. And unfortunately, that meant getting rid of Matthew Stafford and going for Jared Goff. All right, let's see what you guys got to say about this date that will live forever in Lions lore and infamy. And that was, of course, January 24th, 2021 at roughly 10:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, and yes, that's before Lions Talk Live was even a thing. All right, so let's go ahead, see what you guys got to say. Head on over. All right, JDC, good morning, all. Good morning to you too, JDC. Hopefully you're having a great one. Moonscar, good morning, coach and crew. I hope that wasn't the greatest moment. More to come soon. Woo! 100%. Yeah, and not maybe the greatest moment of all time, But how about this? One of the most impactful moments of the last 4 years, maybe you could say even longer back, maybe you could say the last 20 or 50 years. I mean, I'll let you guys debate where you put it on the pantheon of great moments in Lions history, but is it up there? Is it in the conversation for one of the most impactful moments in time for this organization and franchise? I think that we can all probably agree it's up there. All right, Steve, what do you got? Greetings and salutations, all. One of the great moments for sure, 100%. Yeah, and good morning, Cap. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew, Superdome, or bust, exclamation point. Sheila, changing the culture or at least starting the process was, as far as one of the greatest moments. I'll go with that. Yeah, I've said it before, and I know you guys have pointed out lots of times. I don't think she gets enough recognition for the job she's done with the franchise, for everything she's helped to correct, I guess you could say, and alter. The ways of the past were not going to continue. She wanted an all new direction, a new way of doing things. And you know what? She got what she wanted. She's taken this franchise. She's chipped away at it inch by inch, bit by bit. She's brought in the right people in the front office, the right advisory panel. And that led obviously to them hiring Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes. And from there, it just started all going downhill with every other hire, every other draft pick, every other selection. Hookadoo, good morning, Coach and the Duke Crew. 100% back at you, buddy. Hopefully you're having a great one. Dennis, good morning, fam. Good morning to you, Dennis. Always good to see you in the chat. Kurt, good morning, Duke Crew, exclamation point. Let's make this a great one. Yes, let's make this a great day for all, whether you're part of the Duke Crew or not. Maybe you're thinking about being a part of the Duke Crew. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and come join us every morning. All right, Burger Time. Good morning, Duke Crew and Dan the Man. Back at you, Bergs. Thanks for all you do for the channel, man. And real quick, I think I might have to remind Bergs to put it in the comment section. But Bergs, I guess I could let him type it out in the comment section. But him and his family do a thing for mental awareness, I guess would be a good way to put it. Let me see if I can pull it up just so I'm not murdering this, I guess you could say. But they do something for their family for the Melville Softball Mental Health Awareness. And if Bergs, if you can, go ahead and put that in the comment section, if you would. If you guys want to take a peek at it, go ahead and please do so. It's April 27th, 2024, and it's going to basically help awareness fundraise for a cause. If you want to contribute, great. If nothing else, we've made you aware of it. Maybe when you have a free moment after the show or during the show, whatever works for you, hit the link button that he'll provide. And if you want to help this cause, as far as mental health and awareness, trying to help some people out through some difficult times, and probably a great cause, please consider doing so. All right, Matthew, greetings, salutations. Good morning, everyone. Super Bowl or bust, exclamation points. Woo! 100%, Matthew. Thanks for all you do. All right, Kay, what do you got? Good morning, all. Not a draft topic. I'm thankful. Every channel I watch is draft this or trade up, down that for that. Excuse me. Getting old. And I get it, man. Like everybody in the media, no matter what type of media you're talking about, hey, we're a week and a half from the draft. Everybody's on focus. I could say we're totally focused on the draft. So I am trying to come up with maybe every other day something that isn't draft related for us all to talk and debate about. I am doing a little bit more work, just so you guys know, about the scouting video. The tough part I'm running into, and you guys let me know how you want me to handle it, I guess. I'll go with the majority rules. So I'm trying to think about what's the best way to handle the scouting video. Should I just shoot a video breaking down all the nuances, what you would do as far as your draft board? What do you do when you go to a prospective person's game? What's some of the processes during the game, outside the game? What do you do to lead up for stuff? And this is just, my scouting life. I have total, make sure I'm totally transparent. I have not scouted for the NFL in any way, shape, or form. I've done it for a number of other leagues. And from knowing people who do scout in the NFL, it seems like the process is fairly similar. I could do a live broadcast on it where we could do Q&A. I just think I might be, if I do a video, I think the advantage is, I'll be able to break down the videos, do more camera work, trying to show you guys more things. Or if I do live, I'm kind of restricted to just one camera, one backdrop, but I can answer questions. So you guys let me know your thoughts on that one. All right, Moonscar. Where does the greetings and salutations come from? Boy, that's just a saying I've picked up. Man, I have no idea, man. Somewhere a gajillion decades ago, somebody must have said it and it stuck. So that's about all I can tell you, man. I got no clue on that one. Hookadoo. Moonscar, the heart. There you go. It comes from the heart. Grit, 100%. Just say, Kate, good morning. Have we signed Bates yet? Question mark. Wow, just wow. How did this guy not kick in college? That's a great question. I know there's some reports that say he didn't even kick field goals in high school. And then, he was on an NFL preseason roster last year. He just got cut. So I don't know what's happened. Like I said in yesterday's video about him, I don't know if he fell in a vat of toxic chemicals or maybe he got, I don't know, ate the right candy bar or something like that. I don't know. But all of a sudden, this kid is on fire. He's got a leg that just about everybody on this planet would die for if you're a kicker. And his accuracy, I mean, he's 5 for 5. You can't do better than that. Yeah, I guess you could say he's actually 6 for 6 because the one was waved off because of the timeout and stuff. But yeah, who knows, man? Bo, Old English, perhaps. Yep, perhaps. Showing my age, perhaps, right? Moodsguard can't sign Bates until his season is done. Right. And I've had two different people tell me different dates. I want to say one was May 18th or something like that. And thanks whoever sent me that message yesterday. Without looking at the phone, I don't remember. And then somebody else, I want to say it was it 9 Drinks or Dr. Detroit? Somebody like that yesterday in the video I did about Bates said they can't get signed to June. So I don't have confirmation when the date is. If it's the end of the season, then, it probably is about next month. But we'll have to wait and see. I do have to imagine the Lions and about half the league are going to try to sign him, though. That's the one thing I will say. If he keeps, the accuracy up, that leg strength, yeah, you're going to see a ton of teams try to acquire his services. Oh, look at you, Ball. I was thinking the same. I was thinking the same thing. Yes, I was. When you're going to be able to get him, I don't know, man. Or Old English. Okay, I get it there. I got no idea where I got that saying, man. All right, Matthew, January 24, 2021 was one of the greatest moments. There are 2 other points in history for the Lions. One is when Martha Firestone Ford chose Sheila as her successor over Bill Jr. The second moment was when they hired Chris Spielman. He is the heart of the restructure. I mean, all those moments are great. I'm not trying to say one's better than the other. They're all impactful. The moment they hired Brad Holmes is impactful. I guess you could say the moment they hired MCDC is impactful. But did we realize as a fan base back then, and I guess I could have worded the thumbnail differently, so apologies for that. But did we realize back then, January 24th, just what we were getting there? You think about all the different players that are now on this team and impactful. There's probably a lot of people that look back after that first draft and said, man, Ife Melifonwo's a bust. Now, we probably don't think that way anymore. Derek Barnes is a meh. We probably don't think that way anymore. Jared Goff, I mean, we all get it. We've heard his story to death. Bridge quarterback, whatever. He was just kind of tossed in. Most of us don't think that way anymore. We probably realize that guy, and I know he came out and said it just earlier this week, that may have been the greatest moment in his life, and he wasn't aware of it when it happened. What it forced him to do, forced him to change, develop, grow up. There's 2 types of people in this world. I'm convinced. I can say everything I want about personality types, and yes, we all have a core base of 4 major personality types, and then sub-personality types fill in from there. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of things, not everything, but a lot of things comes down to one of 2 things. When life punches you, are you one of the ones who will get up, or are you one of the ones that stay down? And hey, if you're watching this show, you're probably not 2 years old. You probably know people that fit both dynamics in life. Jared Goff, we can say this. He got punched in the face in front of the world, and he was left for dead, and he got up. So I will say this. I don't know the guy. I don't know if I'd hang out with him. I can just say this. He does something a lot of people won't do. He got up, and he pushed forward. So give him a lot of props for that. All right, Michael D., what do you got? Greetings and salutations, coach and do crew, exclamation point. Good morning to you, Michael. Great one. Detroit D., what do you got? Greetings and salutations, everyone. Good to see you, my friend. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat. And greetings and salutations to you, too, D. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied twisted there. All right. Rocky, good morning, coach and Duke crew, exclamation points. That will be a date to remember. Yeah, it will be. And I don't have all the dates, so I don't have the date for when Holmes was hired Probably want to go ahead and get that one chiseled into Ford Field. Same with MCDC, Chris Spielman, Sheila Hamp Ford, or Ford Hamp. I mean, all of them. It's been a domino effect how fast this franchise has turned around. And someone who's been a fan since the late 70s, I guess you could say, of the Detroit Lions, there's really only one other time in my lifetime when I could say there was this much excitement, and that would have been the early 90s, early to mid 90s. But I will say this, in my opinion, as much as I will forever love those teams, this is probably a better overall organization at this point. There just does not seem to be a chink in the armor. That may end up changing in the future, but if I was to bet, I don't bet, but if I was, I would say I would be betting a whole lot of Mountain Dew that we're probably seeing the Detroit Lions relevant for at least the next 2 to 4 seasons. After that, it's tough. My crystal ball is still in the shop, so I'll have to wait to get back to you on how long this ride's going to go. All right, Eddie, greetings and salutations all. I had to Google the date. Yeah, me too, man. I didn't know it off the top of my head. To me, that's just that just goes to show how good Brad Holmes is at identifying talent others miss. You're not wrong with that, Eddie. By any stretch of the imagination, you think about it, the Rams obviously wanted to move on from Goff, and they obviously thought we view him as so inferior to Matt Stafford that we're going to give you all these draft picks and Jared Goff to take that guy. Like most things in life, hindsight's always 20/20. Some things always don't look so great in the rearview mirror that they did when you were going for it. But we can say this, Brad Holmes, this is just further evidence to just his greatness. And great is something you probably don't want to use a ton in pro sports. You want to save it for really rare situations or personnel. But I will say Brad Holmes is rare. I mean, there's no way around it. I think even the biggest detractors of Brad Holmes would have to admit after 3+ seasons here, the guy can ID talent. And if it's not just him, then he's got the right people around him that he trusts that can identify talent. Brad Holmes was a part of the personnel group that made the trade up with the Rams to acquire Goff with the number 1 pick. I want to say they traded from like 13 or 12 all the way up to number 1 to get him. So obviously there was people in that organization that said, yeah, this kid can play. Whatever reasoning, they fell out of favor. And I think if they're just blaming him for the Super Bowl loss, that's really kind of looking through, a narrow perspective, because we've talked about on this show even in the last few months. Jared Goff threw 2 touchdown passes in that Super Bowl that would have won the Super Bowl for the Rams. They were just dropped by the receiver. Things happen in life, right? We could also say in the NFC title game, Jared Goff threw, I guess you could say, a would-be touchdown at the end of the first half to Gibbs. Unfortunately, Gibbs lost his footing coming out of that break, and just, the pass was a little off timing-wise. Jared Goff threw the first down pass to Josh Reynolds on that 4th and whatever it was, 2 or 3. It's unfortunate, but it was dropped. So where do you put blame on stuff? I mean, I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to say Brad Holmes, just looking at what he's done, say, hey, you give us Goff, we're going to take him. He's not just a bridge quarterback. He's just not a fill-in. He's going to be the dude for us. And a lot of people laughed and said, hey, this guy must, he must be drinking Mellow Yellow. I don't know. He's not making any sense. Of course, we can look, 3 years later and say, yeah, he knew what he was doing. You also look at the draft picks he's made. Some of them were questioned his first year. Obviously, some of them were questioned last year, especially the first round pick. First round picks, I guess you could say, were questioned. After that, maybe not so much. But Brad Holmes, man, he's off the charts good. And that could have been a video topic. Maybe we'll still do that this week where we debate him a little bit more. All right, Hookadoo. I listened to a song this morning that dedicated to the Lions 2024 Bad Company song, Bad Company, and I can't deny Bad Company till the day I die. Yeah, and you know what? Hey, I hope the Lions come up with a theme song and ride it all the way to the promised land. Me, myself, when we win the Super Bowl, I hope they're playing Queen and we are the champions again, because, it's been a while since we've been able to say that. Matthew, what do you got? Regarding Bates in college, he might not have been very good. It could be, yeah. Maybe he's just developed since then. Good point. Because of coaching, Pat McAfee said that the only reason he became a punter for Indy was that he was drafted and the others were undrafted free agents. There you go. Yeah, it could be, man. Could be. And, I know Pat McAfee had himself a pretty good career. Vendigo, what do you got? Good morning, Duke Crew, exclamation point. The more I think about it, the more I think we're going offense in the first round. It is possible. And I know, hey, we've debated. I mean, like every show, man, we've been debating this for months now. Are you going to take this? Are you going to take that? You can trade up, down, left, right, or whatever. I have no idea what the Lions are going to do in the first round. I have no idea what they're going to do in the second round. I've done my best to speculate. And, you guys saw I put out that video last week. Does that mean the Lions are going to do any of that stuff? Probably not. I will say Demetrius Johnson that I put as the cornerback we'd select in the, what was it, round 5 or 6 that I had him going to us. I want to say like 201 or something like that. As of yesterday, you've had, I think it's 10 or 12 teams bring him in for, upfront interviews. So I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I think he's probably moving up into like the 4th rounds or so, or maybe higher. But clearly some other teams, as in the last week or so, have identified him as probably someone they want to talk to and potentially look at bringing in. When I watched this tape and film, I know I put I played the draft board game and said, hey, we could probably wait until later to get him, but that might not be the case. Just sort of like we talked about, what's his name? Leggett, the wide receiver. I had us trading up a bit to get him because I wanted to leapfrog some teams that I thought would take him. I think it's going to be the same with Demetrius, dude, that I think you're going to have to probably trade up and leapfrog teams because when I watched him, and just from a scouting standpoint, there's just so many things he does that other people physically can't. That makes him very attractive to me. And now you add in the personality traits. That makes him pretty rare. So unfortunately for the Detroit Lions and my own mock draft, I don't think he's going to last that long. So, all right, got off kilter there. So sorry about that, guys. All right, Jess, what do you got? Greetings and salutations. I want to vote this show as the best Lions Talk morning show around. Where do I cast my vote? ? In Goff, I trust. I have no idea about that. I don't know if they do votes on shows or anything on YouTube. So I can't help you out with that. If somebody knows some jazz like that, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Either way, though, thanks for the words of encouragement, though. I'll take that, though. But I say this show doesn't work because of one person or two people. It's because of everybody in the chat every morning. It's as much, everybody here as it is one individual. I couldn't do what I do without the Duke Crew. The Duke Crew obviously would have to watch somebody else at 7 a.m. If I didn't do it. But I enjoy this to death. I have no idea who the best show is. My mom would probably say I'm number 5 on her list. So I'll go with that. Anything above that, then, hey, Mom, maybe you'll need to rethink that. All right, Ogadoo. Brad's got something cooking in his brilliant mind. He probably does, man. He's probably got it pretty narrowed down to a pretty good idea what they're going to do and what they're going to be willing to do. Every general manager, I'm guessing, has multiple trade up scenarios in their mind, just like they have trade downs, just like they have stay pat scenarios. So if I had to guess, they probably have as much as 5 to 8 trade up and trade down scenarios, just like they have probably 5 to 8 stay pat scenarios. So in my experience, you go through every conceivable, what happens if this person goes there. Would we want to trade up? We know we've talked to them. They're saying they will take this. Is it possible we could talk them down to that? Stuff like that. I mean, I think I told you guys, I don't know, a week or so ago, most of the scouting stuff was done really in depth, maybe like a week, 2 weeks ago. And then you get 48 hours before the draft, everything is done. Nobody wants any more information. It's now just wait and see, let it marinate kind of stuff. But as far as all the different scenarios, all they've been doing for the last month is the different scenario breakdowns here. If any of the interview processes have changed minds or opinions on where somebody should be drafted. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. All right, Matthew, what do you got? McAfee became a punter. Became the punter he is today because he met the right people and coaches who helped him perfect his technique. Without those coaches and teammates, he would have washed out like so many before. Yeah, 100%. A lot of times in life, whether it's sports, whatever, it comes down to, in some degrees, just who you're fortunate enough to meet and be in the right place, the right time. So I'll go with that, man. France, good evening, all. Does anyone really think we have a clue what Brad Holmes and the gang will do draft night? Question mark. I don't know. And there's probably some pretty good guesses, but does anybody really have the inside information? Probably not, man. Moonscar, shout out to the weekend's Duke Crew faithful! Exclamation point. Me, I'm catching up on some sleep most weekends, but always watching later. 100%, man. Yeah. I know there's some people that use the weekends to sleep in. There's some that, use it to work or whatever, earn a couple extra bucks, whatever it is. Hey, just hopefully you enjoy it. But man, I thought I had a pretty good couple shows this weekend. Trey, what do you got? What's good, everybody? Question mark. One day closer to the Super Bowl. That's a good way to look at it. We are, with every day that passes, we're one day closer to the draft, one day closer to preseason games, one day closer to the eventual Super Bowl. Rocky, then we need to hire the Panthers special teams coach, LOL. If they did this for Bates. Yeah, there could be a lot of teams that specifically do look at that guy and say, what did you do to this kid? Because whatever he's done, he needs to get that person, whether it's a he or she, I don't know. They need to get some props and praise for it. They've done a phenomenal job. Bo, it's who you know, not just what you know. This is very true. Yeah, you got to be able to connect to the right people in the right places, right time. That usually leads to good results. Thaddeus, good morning, y'all. Hit that like for Coach. Yes, thank you. I can't see the likes on my screen. I can see we've got roughly 400 people watching live. So if everybody who's watching, or heck, man, even half of you can hit that like button, that would be great. But if you can all do it, man, that'd be super awesome. All right, Matthew. Brad is like one of those catering crock pots where they have 3 to 6 crock pots in a row with something different in each. He has so many things simmering in that big brain. Some are ready and some are cooking. Yeah, he's dang gifted at what he is. I wouldn't be surprised if you were to test him from a mental aptitude standpoint, if he was somewhere higher up on the spectrum as far as maybe a savant or such. So yeah, he does a lot of good forward thinking. He sees the moves matriculating off the board. So he knows if he moves this here, this goes there, and he can see the result of the third or fourth move. So I agree with you there, Matthew. Garland, done. Thank you. Hookadoo, done. Bo, me too. All right. Fair. Thank you all. All right. Dennis, when Bates season over, he be at his house with a bag. Yeah. When the season is over, man, I'd say this to you, Dennis. Don't even let him leave Ford Field. Just keep him here, man. Do like you did DJ Reader and just say, hey, we're not letting you leave until you sign this here. John, good morning, y'all. Good morning to you too, John. Hopefully having a great one. Bo, remember how someone camped out at Vanden Bosch's? Yes. I want to say it was, who was it? Was it Jim Schwartz and somebody else? I don't remember who the other person was, but yeah, they were in his driveway right at midnight. And Dennis, heck yes, 100%. Ed, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Draft or bust, division or bust, Super Bowl bust, everything. I agree. Get it all done and get us there. So good morning to you, Ed. Berg time, unfinished business. Woo, 100%. And good morning to you once again, Bergs. Hookadoo. Hey, Berg, good morning. Gary, good morning, Duke Crew. Woo, 100%, Gary. Hope you're having a great one. Berg, morning, Hookadoo. Bo, Hillary, step, exclamation point. Championship game. Here we come, improvise, adapt, and overcome 100%. Figure a way out to make it happen. Kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions. Are you going to be a member of the media row at the draft this year? No, I will not. I will not be attending the draft. I'll just be doing it from the Dew Stadium here at the house. But I will be at a couple games this year. I know we're going to set up a tailgate with the Dew Crew probably earlier in the year. Don't have that information yet. We'll probably have to wait until we see the schedule reveal itself. Moonscar, yes, very huge day in Lions history, exclamation point. Time to make that day mean even more, 100%. I'll go with that, Moonscar. All right, let's see. Ed, no fishing today, but loving. All right, fair enough. Doug, let's see, 6.37K used to get here in time. Hello. I think we need to be less hello, how are you, and more thoughts on the topic. You can only hit so many hellos and hows and greetings and salutations, at least for me. Fair enough, man. Fair enough, Doug. All right, Gary, what do you got? The greatest moment in Lions history hasn't happened yet. Super Bowl ring ceremony. Ooh, I'll go with that, man. That's a good one. Ed, loving this chat. Me too, man. I love everybody in it. All right, Brent, greetings and salutations, Coach Duke Crew. Hated the trade when it happened, but loving the rewards. We are built for the future! Exclamation point. Go Lions. I'll go with that all day, Brent. Yeah, probably a lot of people were thinking, man, here we go again, doom and gloom. But here we are, time later. Yeah, it's funny how it's all come to happen. One funky, the greatest moment in the last 60 years was back September of 2020 when Sheila took over. Ooh, that's a good one. Good one on that one, funky. Kneecap biting. All right. I only ask because the online publication I write will be okay. I'm honored to be doing so. Yeah, go enjoy it, man. Have a good time there. I've been in press row at Ford Field and the Silverdome. It's good places, and usually they have some good food or spreads laid out for you. It's just for me coming from Kalamazoo, you figure it's like, I don't know, man, like 3.5 hours there. Then obviously that much time driving back. Just the length of the day and the draft since we're picking 29. Yeah, I hope you have a ton of fun with it. But yeah, I got to pick my battles. I guess that's what I could say. All right, Joseph Green, salutation, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, go Lions. And Matthew Stafford, hey, goodbye. Hey, well done there. And who would have guessed when that trade goes down, not only does he get a Super Bowl, but he lives on the promise, man. He delivers the Lions' first playoff win in 3 decades. So, and probably not the way he would have anticipated when he was drafted, but hey, that's how life happens sometimes. Bird time. This past summer, he lost one of his players each year. He does a charity. This year, he decided to donate to the topic. Thank you so much. Yeah, and in regards to what Berg's talking about, that's what I was talking about mental awareness and such. Mentioned a little earlier in the show. Bergs, if you do have a link or something, go ahead and put that in the comment section if you would. Trump's hi all with the first pick, cornerback out of Toledo. I know there's a lot of talk about it. Could it be the way we go? 100%. It could be. So we'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. All right, Great Lakes. Let's see. Good morning, Coach and crew. I see some people wanting to draft a running back. Did Reynolds not resign? Who do you think will carry the ball more this year, Montgomery or Jamari Gibbs? My guess is it's going to be fairly close between Gibbs and Montgomery. My guess is also that Gibbs will get slightly more. We did re-sign Craig Reynolds. We did resign Knight. So we've got 4 capable backs. Could they still draft somebody else? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Miles Marker, good morning, friends. One Pride. Good morning to you, Miles. Trey, rise and shine to everyone in the chat. I want to ask a real question. If they don't reach the bowl this year, how much longer is their window open for? It's a good question, Trey. It's a real good question. I'm going to go with they've got a 2 to 3 season window. I think after that, it's hard to predict because there is so much change in the NFL on a yearly basis. Now, if you times that by 3, I mean, put it this way, the team you see now, 3 years from now, I'd say half of them are gone from the team. It's the way the league works. Guys move on. You don't resign. You draft them new guys. So I'm going to say 2 to 3 years. After that, who knows? But I think the core players will be the key things. And then if you keep drafting well, you're going to keep having good young talent on the team. All right, Doug, what do you got? I mean, you will need to start sifting through the comments, or by the time the draft comes, any consequential comments will need to read in the second hour or third. Yeah, there you go. And yeah, I mean, I get it, man. There are some days I fly all the way through the chats and get to it right at the end. There's other days I look down and go, man, there's still another hour worth of comments. It's the nature of the beast, man. Kneecap biting. What do you got? The greatest moment was the Monday after the Thanksgiving game in 2020 when she fired the Quantricia regime. You might be right on that, man. I mean, hey, I don't wish any coach or GM or really anybody to lose their job, but I guess what would be the polite way to say is it just wasn't working out, so you had to make a change for the organization. All right, Hookadoo, good morning, mile marker. There you go. Burger time. Best moment was Sheila fired Fatty Matty. There you go. And there's probably going to be a lot of people that will jump on that one. Mile Marker smiles. 9 drinks. Good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. All right, Gary, greatest moment, Sheila for sure. But also, how about the hiring of Chris Phelan? Definitely up there. Definitely up there. 100% agree with that, Gary. Kneecap, what do you got? Bob Quinn and Matt. But yes, we'll go with that. All right, Bo, as long as Brad and Dan are here, the window is open. Okay, I'll go with that. And you know what? You do have certain parts on every team. You do have an opportunity. All right, Kneecap, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. There you go. Rocky, another great moment was Peyton Manning and Jeff Daniels with Keegan Michael. Keg breaking the Lions curse. Yes, they keep breaking the Lions curse. Yeah, they brought the curse of Bobby Lane, the curse of Wayne Fonts, the doom of Jason Hanson. I mean, whoever else you're going to throw in there, they brought that crashing down. And you know what? Hey, kudos to them for helping do that exorcism of Ford Field. All right, Ed, what do you got? There has been lots of great moments in Lions history. We have to go back to the 50s, but the change in the front office is the greatest modern day moment. Yeah, I'll go with that because without that happening, you don't get the others. And hey, I'm just happy for all the change. Maybe I should just go with that. Berg time in comments section, also on my Facebook page. There you go. All right, yeah. All right, go with that. Yeah, go check out his Facebook page, and you can get the link. All right, Gary, good morning, Duke Crew. Go back at you, Gary. Hopefully, I'm a great one. Jason, greatest moment in Lions history was, all right, 24,214 days ago. Do the math. 49-14, baby, for the chip. 300 days from today. Superdome or bust. I'll go with that. And you know, the Lions, when we win the Super Bowl this year, you know, I'm going to guess the vast majority of people in the Duke Crew will be calling into work sick tomorrow, or you know what, just change their plans because you probably were drinking a way too much Mountain Dew the night before. So you might not have even slept before the next morning's show. I can only imagine what that post-game show and the next morning show is going to be like. I mean, we might just do a live stream throughout the night. Bo, when Sheila buried her face in her hands, led to where we are now. Yeah. And I'm sure most of you may remember seeing that on the screen when they put that up there. She knew something had to go, something had to change. And I'm sure I think we all get now how much she cares about the franchise. And not that her folks didn't. It's just they were very different. I told you guys before, I remember interviewing a senior a few times. Great guy. Seemed like, you know, one of the most humble, nice dudes ever. It was also probably part of his fault. He would let some people stick around the organization probably far longer than he should have, but he was just so loyal. I'm guessing he was a great person to work for throughout the Ford Motor Company and industries, but it was also kind of a negative aspect of things when it came to the franchise or the Lions franchise. All right, Troy, a few days till jersey release and a week and a half until the draft. I have a feeling we will move up between 12 and 17 and either select edge or corner. I cannot see us taking offensive line in round 1 due to impact. Okay, I'll go with that. And, you know, there's going to be so many different ways we can go with the draft. We're all best guessing it. We'll see what the Lions ultimately do. Man Bear, what do you got? Green Sanitation, today's the day we've been waiting for over a year to see the new unis. Yep. Is it today or tomorrow that the unis come out? I guess I don't remember. I know today's tax day. I got most of my taxes done last night. Still got about 5%. Just kind of go back over them before I file today. So guess what I'll be doing today? All right. Dennis, do it. How does it? Okay, fair enough. Does it? Fair enough. Miles Marker, Jason Berry on math this early? Question mark. Yeah, he's ahead of the curve this morning. Troy, need instant starters, not depth. Hoping we trade picks to draft 4 to 5 rookies. No way we can keep 7. No, I've been saying that for a while, so we think alike when it comes to that. I guess the only way you keep 7 is if you just feel like those 7 are better than guys you currently have and you're willing to cut some of the guys on the roster. I mean, and you could definitely do that. In my opinion, and that's all it is I just think we're trading up and trying to get 3 to 4 guys who we really feel like would benefit the team. One Funky, do a video, but stream it at 7 in the morning, and then there will be a chat to respond in real time with people. Whew, I'll have to see if I can do that, man. So the streaming service I use, I'll have to see if there's a way I can play video to walk you through it, but I'll see what I can figure out with that, man. I still got a little time. Phil, Bates kicked off. Yes, he did. Yeah, and that's what he did in college. I know he was a kickoff specialist. Dude's got a leg, man. He can hammer it. All right, kneecap. Green salutations came from medieval times. It was used for major announcements from the town crier. Yeah, it could be. And I'm old, so maybe that's where I picked it up as a young youth back in the day in the 1200s. So maybe that is it, or 16 or 500s, 500 AD. So, anyways. All right, Troy. From what I hear, we can sign Bates, but they have to play out the rest of the UFL season. Yeah, and there's all sorts of speculation. What's accurate, what isn't. I can't say. I can say that it does seem like he's not doing anything until their season's done. All right, Gary Bates has flubber in his shoes. That could be it, man. LOL, most of you know what flubber is or was. Yes, I do remember. Yeah, I remember the original Disney movie with it before Eddie Murphy remade it. Let's see. Bo, greetings and Germanic salutations from Latin. There you are. All right. Kneecap. Hello, Gary. There we go. Gary. Yeah, I knew we were going with that. Mile marker. Grace, I'm with you. In hindsight, those are the foundational moments. Yes, I agree with that fully. All right. 9 drinks. That's correct. Can't talk to Bates or his agent until season is over. All right. Bo, Ned's Flyers. There we go. Gary, greatest moment in Lions history? Question mark. The moment Dan Thornton decided to start Lions Talk Live. All right. Well, I'll take it, man. Why not, man? Jason, what do you got? Miles Marker, math without coffee. Good, sir. Woo! Now that's impressive, man, because, yeah, I'm not doing a whole lot of things. Like, I will not trade a stock until I've had my morning Mountain Dew, just because I know my brain is not going to function as quickly. All right, Miles, LOL, fair enough. Doug, 2 firsts. One became Gibbs and Laporta. One was used to trade up for JMO, Iffy, and Goff. I say the trend is your friend. Always is your friend, my friend. All right, Kneecap, what do you got? 141 watching and only 40 likes. Make Dan know you're here and smash the like button. It's free. It is free to hit it. So if you guys would, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Scott, what do you got? A possible idea for your show, Dan? Pick 3 potential Lions players and scout them from scratch. Okay. Nealon, Leggett, then we can do a live Q&A. That's and Jackson Powers Johnson. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Scott. Not a bad idea at all. That would be okay with me. Hookadoo, Goff didn't fall in that game. The team did, or fail in that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say he played perfectly, but he did not play bad at all. There's a lot of unfortunate things that happened, especially in that second half. All right, Kneecap, Brand Holmes makes more draft day trades than a coked up New York SE broker. Yeah, stock exchange broker. There you go. All right, let's see. Trump's the Lions theme song should be "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." That could be, man. That could be an option. Ed, Coach, have we set expectations too high for Brad to succeed in this draft? No, just because each draft is his own draft. Again, if you trust your scouting department, you trust their processes, which I would say it seemed fairly refined at this point. I don't think there's a reason to not expect them to hit on the draft picks. Now, just because you're drafting later doesn't mean you still can't find good players. They're throughout the draft. The process for scouting, I will say this, it has gotten a lot easier from when I started, because you used to have to carry around so much equipment. So even when you would scout somebody live, you would still have to carry around equipment to pull in and watch video on them. And back in the day, you might be able to watch 3 to 4 games of somebody, and just using football as an example. And let's just say they played 12 games in the year. So you only had a small sample size to really go off of. So that also means if you caught them on the wrong couple of games, I mean, you could have an incredibly low grade on them or an incredibly high grade. That's why if you're a little bit older, you probably can remember so many guys that had great draft grades. Teams would trade up and get them in the first round or second round. Those guys would be busts. More than likely, when I saw something like that happen, I'd say, yeah, that scout caught them on some real good games, and that's the only sample size they had to go off of. Nowadays, though, it's just the ability to access the videos. So like when I'm driving or flying somewhere to go watch somebody, you can probably watch every game they've played in the last season or two on that flight or drive, as long as somebody else is driving. And you can have a real good idea for their tendencies by the time you actually get to wherever they're playing live. Then it becomes, at that point, my job becomes more about watching their nonverbal communication and skills. I've got a real good idea for who that player is from a fundamental standpoint, mechanical, athletic standpoint. And some things do look different live than they do on video. So you do go, you put some weight in that. That's why you go to the combines and the clinics to see those things. But more and more with scouting, it is becoming, when you see the person live, can you judge who they are internally? If you can do that, you've got a real good future in this business, and you'll probably be around for a while. All right, let's see. Miles, put some blame on Mama Boy's Firm Noir song. Okay, there you go. Kneecap 2023 draft 44 draft 44 draft day trades were made over the 3 days. Brad Holmes led the way with 8 of them. Yeah, he was very active last year, 100%. Miles, every year, Brad surprises me with his first pick. Finally, looking forward to that this year instead of holding my breath. Yeah, we're going to probably have to wait for a little bit, assuming they don't trade up. But the 29th pick, it's going to take some time to get there. Alan, what do you got? The thing is, we can guess and guess, but not once is the last 3 drafts, except for Panay, did we get one pick correct in any of my draft picks Holmes made. Yeah, he's pretty good at keeping us all off balance. And you know what? Kudos to him. They keep it pretty in-house what they're going to do. Phil, let's not forget the Lions have a great front office, medical, and support staff too. Very good point on that, Phil. Not just players. No, you have to keep the players on the field and give them a lot of credit. Even though he's no longer a Lion, what the medical staff did with C.D. Deuce or Gardner Johnson, that's impressive that he was able to return inside the season. And so that doesn't happen very often. So Phil, you're 100% correct. The medical staff, all the supporting aspects of it, yeah, give them a lot of props and praise. Gary, good morning, y'all. Grit for life, 100% with that, Gary. As far as you were talking about golf, it is a team sport, but one guy can win or lose games. No one likes to point fingers, but it's true. Coaches get blamed. They do. Hey, it's part of the job. When you get wins, you probably get too much of the credit. When you get losses, you're getting all the blame. Kneecaps, there are a lot of great podcasts about our Lions. I've seen many. Dan does a good job with his live addressing most of the chat. Kudos to him. Maybe one day we can do a collab because you want to do a collab, man? Feel free, man. I'm down with it. I've reached out to just about everybody I can think of. I've reached out over the whatever it's been. I've done this for a little over a year now. Obviously I do some stuff with Micro Mike, but I've reached out to Dosa Dion. I've reached out to Syndicate guy. I've reached out to what's his name? Rocked On guy. Lions Locked On guy. I mean, basically everybody trying to talk to him. Mark Orms Forum. Although I get his work schedule has changed, but I talked to him last night about maybe trying to do a show. I also talked to Everything King, and he said he's okay with doing something. But most of the YouTube people, when I reach out to them, I get everybody's work schedule is different. So it's just tough, I think, trying to find commonality or time to work with people. But anybody who wants to do a collab, whether I come on their show or them on mine, I'm open to it. Let's see, the same way. Fair enough, man. Yep. Alan, the man is just completely unpredictable. What the experts may have in the first round pick might not be what the Lions draft board. Yeah. And I think that's the one hard thing with media members and fan members, because fans, most of us go by what the media says. Hey, this person is a first round grade. This person, shouldn't be drafted at all, whatever. The problem with that is, in my opinion, at least, most of them probably haven't really watched the players. There are some that have, but probably a lot of them take what this person said or this person said or this person said, or somebody who's in charge of getting their notes to them. If especially if you're an on-air personality, whether it be on radio or YouTube or whatever on a set, you're relying on other people to compile information for you because you don't have that kind of time. And if that person doesn't know what they're doing, you're probably moving on from that segment when you realize you made a bad pick. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He works on one of the radio stations, 97.1, but he had this big thing like 2 or 3 years ago, and somebody sent it to me on Twitter or whatever the other day, where Costa, he was saying, MCDC's a bum. He should have never been hired, all this other stuff. Probably doesn't think that anymore, but, opinions do change over time. All right, Doug, go ahead, Kat. Scheffler, the Masters winner, #1 world golfer, had the same golf coach since he was 7 years old. Talk about how someone gets someplace with coaching and talent. Yeah, and I will say this. I don't watch golf a ton. My folks did. I mean, they're both phenomenal golfers. It just wasn't for me unless I was just going out with some friends to hack away. But you talk about people that are very mentally tough, very diligent about stuff, and the fact that he used the same coach, as you say, since he was 7 years old, that's kudos. Obviously, there is a bond between those two. All right, Nine Drinks McCaffrey was a field goal kicker. He was, yep, back in the day. Phil, Brad, and Dan have great people around them. Lions scouting staff is better than most. I would 100% agree with that, Phil. Great call there. Bus driver, morning, everyone. Don't get to watch live much, but do watch the video. Hey, thanks for watching, bus driver, and hopefully you're having a great day, my friend. And Brent, enjoy the day. Let's see. Richard Bates is using conditioned footballs during games rather than new footballs as required by the NFL. That could be, and maybe they'll end up being something when the Lions consider signing him or something, because maybe that does impact his ability. I'm not that privy to some of the nuances of kicking, so I can't say how much that would or would not impact. And then Jen says, great and salutations, babe. So that is my Jen, by the way. Apparently she's eavesdropping and listening this morning. All right, Nathan, let's go do crew. I know we can do better than 64 likes. Hit that thumbs up. Yes, if you guys would, y'all know it. Pretty pleased with Mountain Dew on top. Hit that thumbs up button. Ken, good morning, coach and do crew, ! Welcome someone, Jeremy B, Super Bowl or bust, ! Woo! 100% Ken, and hopefully I'm a good one. And somewhere Don Burr is screaming and shouting my name in an angry moment. Let's see, Dr. Detroit, best moment was the 90s playoff win. Front row, 50 sat with Wayne Fon's family and friends. Best moment yet. All right, I'll go with that, man. That was a game I was not at. I remember covering, unfortunately, the Brett Favre throw game in 93. Oh, man, that was a tough one to write up, because you could just, as great a moment as you're referencing, Dr. Detroit, that's up here, and then having to cover the next one where they thought they were getting that other win, and then, yeah, Sterling Sharp, Ray Crockett let him go, man. It still hurts, man. Berg time. I did it skip over me, so I posted it again. Okay, fair enough. Oh, the gotcha. All right, kneecap. Craig Reynolds is back, but smart GMs take a late or undrafted free agent running back every year. Injuries and so many things can happen throughout the year. Yeah, 100%. And you're always trying to improve the team. So even though you think there are some guys that are safe on the roster, it's the nature of the beast. You get somebody who comes in who's just better, you got to make a choice, and you're probably not letting the better athlete go. All right, Moonscar, good morning, Jen. All right, kneecaps. I say do the same thing at quarterback. Yeah, 100%. Jen, morning, Moonscar. There you go. Dennis, what about signing Bud Dupree, defensive end? I'll leave that to the coaching staff. I know he's had some seasons. It's just whether or not he still has some seasons ahead of him. Ed, when you do the final mock, coach, when do you do? I'll do my final mock. So we'll do Sunday. Per your guys' request, we'll do a interactive mock draft with everybody in the Do crew. And then probably Tuesday, a couple days before the actual draft, I'll do my final mock draft. So we'll go with that. Moonscar, Bird Time, and Coach Dan, YouTube won't let commenters post links in the comments. Only you can do it, Coach. Do it, Dan. Oh, boy. All right, I'll hold on. See if I can do it real quick before the show ends, because I know the show's getting late into it. Let's see if I can pull it up. All right, here's the link. Hold on, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying, man. All right, I got a copy, Doing all this live on air and trying not to mess anything up. All right, let's see if it worked. Sorry if I got to scroll down to a few comments. All right, there it is at the bottom of the comment section. I go ahead and put it there. So there you guys go. All right, so I'll do the comments now in reverse. David, good morning, all. Bird time. Hi, Jen. Matthew, great work on the shirts and mugs, Jen. Got my Mahler's kit yesterday. Yeah, she does. She does a great job with that stuff. Don, yes, Don is leading the charge to ban the woo. You know, that would actually be a pretty good shirt, and then to have Ric Flair's face behind it. Phil, hi, Jen. There you go. Need cat biting. After watching tons of college film, only guy I cannot stand, Ernest Rankshaw. I have him and this 21st cornerback the draft due to his play. Fair enough. Frank Towns, I just wished President Rod Wood would sign off on the extension for Goff and St. Brown. I'm guessing they will get that stuff done this offseason. So, like I said, probably once you get past the draft, now the front office has a lot more time and ability to turn thoughts and energies to other processes. All right, Bird time. Great points, Phil. All right, mile marker. Medical staff worked on Laporta and Presto. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we should not forget about that. We all know what happened to Laporta, and the fact that he was able to go out a week later and play in a playoff game. Hey, good for him, man. I mean, they earn their money with that one. We'll go with that. Well, how about when the Jags skipped touch? That's another big one. Yeah, I wonder how much they regret that now, but that's part of the draft process. Bird time, Ray. Yeah, the 18th. Okay. 8-10. Don't they reveal new jerseys today? Is it today or tomorrow? Okay. I guess I thought it was tomorrow, but maybe that's the 18th. Berg says. Okay. Doug, selecting talent is about parameters. Choosing the right parameters and hire the correct people to implement them is the key. That's why winners win. And they delegate and enforce the culture down the line. Yeah, 100% with that. Moonscar, Jason Berry, yes, classic. He diagnosed plays, and it looked like how to make your lady happy segment. I'll go with that. Bird time. Anyone want to check out anything is appreciated. There you go. Frank, the draft will be a success. Remember, the 29th pick is before the second round, still early. The process has been the process picking the late. This late means certain things you shouldn't need. All right, that's also true. Okay, Burger, I tried when Anthony was doing the Do Crew t-shirts on the comments, and it would not let me do it. There you go. Burger time. This is the 5th year this team is doing the charity. Each year we donate to different topics. This one hit home. He lost his student over the summer. Very sad. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Bergs. Very sorry to hear that. Phil. Dan does have a role this year on the Lions team. I will this summer. Yeah, I'll be doing a couple things in their front office, or as far as their media section of the front office, but just for a couple weeks and stuff. So nothing big. All right, Phil, remember last year's draft? Gibbs at 12. The party was over. You don't draft a running back at 12. The media deflated. Yeah, and it was all doom and gloom there. And then, hey, you take a linebacker at 18. What is going on? Yeah, people were ready to burn down the streets of Ford Field. David, Dan, I hope the Lions draft you. Yeah, that would not be good for anything on the field, let me tell you. 52-year-old dude running around, yeah, and a short dude at that. So, yeah, probably not a good move. If they draft me, can I decline? Ken, how about this? The like button, people, yes, if you could, please hit that. Is that still you? Good day to all. Good day to you, too. Let's see, Andrew. What up? Thanks for streaming every morning, getting my day started right. Hey, no worries about that, man. I'm glad you enjoy it. Ken, we should be well over half hitting the. Okay, yeah. Hopefully you guys can all hit the like. All right, Jason, the day Dan Thornton had no sound. Instant classic. Yes, I remember that well. Yeah, that was a good one. It's reading in hindsight when it happened, when I figured out what was happening, reading some of the comments, that was awesome. Phil, us, yes. Ken, we need Ron Wood to try and get the owners to expand the roster at next owners meeting so we can protect more players. I know there's been talk about that over the years, just whether or not it will happen. It's Mike Simplified. There you go, Mike the Marine. Moonscar Bird Time. I tried several times to promote Anthony when he was selling the T-shirts and stuff. Always removed. Yeah, I think now that makes sense because I know there were some people that were mentioning stuff or whatever that hey, the comments weren't getting read or whatever. But yeah, I guess I don't know all the details within the chat. What is allowed to go in or isn't. But maybe that's what was happening. If you put something in there like that, maybe the system kicks it out. 75. Yep. Phil, hoorah. Yep. Mike, howdy, Dan Lions faithful. Have a great day. Same to you, my friend. Bird Time. Oh, thank you. I figured something was up. I posted it like 3 times. Yep. Yeah. And I think now we know. Moonscar, YouTube removes those comments. Agreed. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get going. It's been an hour. I got to get some stuff done before work. Got to finish up taxes, all that stuff today. If there is some breaking news later today, I'll try to get to you guys as quick as possible. Otherwise, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so or hit the thumbs up. And I'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.